Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's say hello to all our friends on Facebook Live. Thank you all for coming in today. My name is Elise Witt. I'm coming to you from Pine Lake, Georgia, and I'm very excited to sing today with Charlie King, who is in Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts. But before I say more about him, let's say hello to everybody here in the room. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Daily Antidote of Song. Hello, Katie. Thank you for keeping us all looking and sounding so good. And Joe, thank you for connecting all of us together. Welcome, Charlie, and welcome, Kevin in DC with your beautiful flute. Thank you, Bob. Hello, Becky and Pauline in Newcastle, UK with your dad. Hello, Carolyn, keeping me on track always. It's January 6th. February 6th, that's January 31 days plus 6 is 1,037 days. Okay, my math is so excellent. Hello, Laris in England. Hello, Bonnie in Boise and Pamela. Hello, Michelle in Silver Spring and Sheila in Florida. Hello, Dory and Ollie is here today. Hooray. Hello, Deli and Arlene in Berkeley. Susan G and Susan M in Seattle. Hello, Storm with another fabulous hat. Hello, Luda in Victoria with your hearts, and Kathleen in Albuquerque. Nancy with your Irish cow. I see 2 curly tops so far, but I'm sure we'll see more. Hello, let me get a breath. Ruth in Birmingham, UK. Trish in Victoria. Karen in Oregon with a beautiful white snow-capped mountains behind. Hello, Kathy M. and Ann in Silver Spring. Hello, Katie in Charlottesville and Penny and Ralph. Hello, Juana Letejana. Hello, Busy. Thank you, Carpe Diem, for bringing us all together here. Hello, Leah in Illinois. Gary and Kathy and iPhone. Oh, I think that's Aloysius. Hello, Deborah in Kentucky, Fred in Silver Spring, Annette in California, and Julie and Trish in Victoria, CY and Ann and Aloysius and LMG, Carol J and Linda on Orcas Island. Hello, Karen C and Marjorie. If I did not get you in the hellos, I will get you when we go out in the day. Welcome to the Daily Antidote of Song. All right, hello, 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 everyone. So happy to be with you yet again for this amazing Daily Antidote of Song. Today, we are so fortunate to have someone who has been singing and inspiring us with his amazing songs. Charlie King, this is his second time with us here on Daily Antidote of Song. He is stylish in his beautiful hat, which she can tell you about later. But he's an amazing song composer, and I don't even know what to say about Charlie. We'll talk more as we go on. But Charlie King, welcome to the Daily Antidote of Song again, and let's sing together.
Let us do that. Thank you, Elise. That was a glorious beginning. Hardly know how to follow it. Perhaps I'll sing a song.
Excellent idea.
I guess I'll get to talk about this song later, but I'll sing it for now. There's about 1 billion little critters in a teacup. It's about 1 million light years to the wall. It's got me wondering what kind of heavenly mainframe gonna keep track of every sparrow that falls. Gonna get to know me enough to love me. I was lost in such inscrutable thought. I stepped into the holy circle. That's the simple little answer I got. I stepped into the holy circle. I find friends waiting for me. I step into the holy circle. I get wise, I get free. All my life I was meant to be there. All my life I had turned away. I stepped into the holy circle. Goodbye, lonely yesterday. And I'm told that you will sing that with me. Some of you have the lyrics. I can line out the chorus for you. I step into the holy circle. It repeats. I step into the holy. I find friends. I find friends waiting for me. Again, I step into the the holy. I get wise and free. I get wise and I get free. All my life I was meant to be there. All my life I was meant to be there. All my life I had turned away. I step into the holy circle. Goodbye, lonely yesterday. Would you really like to drive yourself crazy? Here's a very easy way to do it, my friend. Find the one thing you're bound to fail at, and you do it over and over again. There is help, but you got to reach for it. How come I could never figure that out? I step into the holy circle. That's the ticket they were talking about. I step into the holy. I find friends waiting for me. I step into the holy. I get wise, and I get free. All my life I was meant to be there. All my life I had turned away. I step into the holy circle. Goodbye, lonely yesterday. Now, player, we're going to modulate if that's okay. Also, the percussionist, you have to modulate too. Rolling right back to the first stargazer, stretching all around the skin of the world. You're gonna be amazed when you find your neighbor, every boy, yes, and every girl. Everybody looking for the genuine item. Everybody searching for the safest way home. Everybody trying to feel the hunger inside them. We were never meant to make it alone. I step into the holy circle. I find friends waiting for me. I step into the whole. I get wise, and I get free. All my life I was meant to be there. All my life I had turned away. I step into the holy circle. Goodbye, lonely yesterday. I step into the holy circle. Goodbye, lonely yesterday.
Wow. Wow.
Lovely.
So
Lovely.
beautiful. Oh my goodness.
I
So
agree.
tell us about how this song came about.
Oh, it was, I wrote it on commission from God. I, uh, I was sitting in my backyard on a lovely spring day, and I sort of went from thinking about what a beautiful day it was and what a beautiful world it was, and how it's just a small part of a beautiful universe that's so huge it can hardly be imagined, and then I, by comparison, must be a kind of insignificant little piece of dust, not worth anything. And I was sort of talking myself into a state of depression because of the beauty of the day and the world, and all of those voices that chatter in my head, maybe they chatter in your head too. They all went quiet, and a voice that I had not heard before and have not heard since said, "You stepped into the holy circle." And
Wow.
that's pretty much the story. And so I took it as a songwriting commission. But, it's pretty obvious what we've just been through, looking at all of these beautiful faces all singing together. Those circles are what really give me any significance in my life, is when I'm part of a circle like that, sitting in circles in church basements, or being part of, religious communities. You had mentioned a Shambhala Center, Elise. We had a Shambhala Center. It's about 100 yards from my door, where I used to go for Shabbos services on Saturday morning, and then you go another 100 yards up the hill. They got a church that has services every morning, and all these holy circles give me some meaning. And the insight was probably pretty good. Left on my own devices, I'm not much, but in the company of other people, I amount to something.
There are some many comments on in the chat right now saying that people that needed this song right now. So I'm sure that anytime you sing it, it's going to be that response. Um, yeah, I-
I do like to sing it. It's true.
yeah. I think there's something very the geometry of a circle, the way that we connect in that way. I know at my school, the very first song that we ever wrote with my students is called Imagine a Circle.
Hmm.
And we have sign language that goes with it. But one of the things we say is that as we sing it, we join hands. Imagine a circle of women who are powerful, and we join hands. Imagine a circle of women who are strong. Imagine a circle of women who are beautiful. Imagine a circle. Anyway, that idea of even when we're not, the whole thing that came in Zoom where we put our hands up like this and joining,
Yeah.
that the energy um, that comes through, and it's the music, we don't have to be touching. The music joins us, and the circle is such a powerful, powerful geometric shape. It's all through nature. Um, it's in your beautiful hat that you're wearing. Sorry, I have to keep.
My partner Candace is a real enthusiast for circle dancing, and Elise, you
Oh,
know how much I love to dance.
yes, you are an amazing dancer. I've always loved dancing with you for the many years that we have known each other.
What
So I
what
was,
most people don't know is that Elise um, brought me to a dance at I guess it was the Folk Alliance, wasn't it? I think it was,
or
and
maybe children, I think Children's Music Network, maybe.
I think it was the Folk Alliance.
All
But
right.
either way, it doesn't matter. I said, well, I don't really like to dance. She said, oh, you'll love it. It's great, you know.
Ah!
And so, so we get down to the room and she takes out this little valise and she opens it and she's got dancing shoes in it, you know. And I feel like the guy who agreed to play pool for 10 cents a ball and the guy pulls out his own cue and starts doing it together. I think I am definitely outmanned and outgunned here. So,
All
and
right.
then she turned me over to other dancers, even who were even less compassionate than she was. I haven't danced since,
I
but
don't believe
Candace
you.
loves to circle dance, and when we do that, we have a group that gets together a couple times a month, and sometimes we'll circle dance, and yeah, it is the geometry of it is really magical.
Moving on to more important topics than how I embarrass myself. I wonder, one of the things I've loved as I get your beautiful newsletter is how many your concerts are seem to be always in collaboration, and you're collaborating with a lot of folks that are here, Daily Antidote folks. I know you have some concerts coming up with Joe Jenks, one of our popular hosts and guests here. What's next? Um, who are you collaborating with? What's coming up for you?
Mhm. Well, this Sunday is a big show, and there are five of us. Annie Patterson, she's probably been on here, hasn't she? And
Absolutely.
Colleen Cattow,
Yep.
um,
Also.
great guy from the West Coast, Eric Law, and a long time friend of mine that I sing with all the time, Hugh Hanley, out of the Boston area. You might know him from the Children's Music Network, and myself. So there are five of us, and it's an evening called Catch the Wind. Songs of Donovan. And so each one of us picks three or four of our favorite Donovan songs and we sing them sequentially and cover a lot of his opus that way.
Oh my
So
God.
that'll be a good night. And in my infinite wisdom, I scheduled it exactly the same time that the Super Bowl is happening. So we're expecting a lot of football fans. But
Hmm.
we're also, one nice thing about these concerts, and it's true for this one, I imagine, as well, is if you aren't able to be at it at the time, the people who buy tickets also get a link and they can watch it at their leisure anytime. So that's coming up. And then in March, the thing with Joe, I'm really excited about. I haven't played with him in years. It's on St. Patrick's Day, and we're going to do a night of all Irish songs. So that'll be
Wow.
fun too. Yeah.
Is the concert on Sunday? Can people watch it live on Facebook or wherever?
No, it's in a Zoom room for people that buy tickets
Oh,
or,
but yeah,
or
but you can watch it live. You don't have to be there live, in other words.
correct. If you buy a ticket, you get a link 2 days after the concert, get a link for seeing it on YouTube. Yeah.
Well, the the fabulous Katie has already put those links in so people can register. When you get off today, you're going to see there's hundreds of people had bought tickets to come.
Well, that would be lovely.
Yeah, yeah. Anything else that you have coming up or that you want to tell us about?
I think I mentioned in the newsletter that you mentioned nicely, that not only have I been collaborating with a lot of people, I haven't done a solo concert in God knows when, certainly not since the pandemic started, and have got to play with some wonderful and interesting people who I've admired for years, and haven't invited you yet, have I, Elise? Would you do that? Are you free in May? We'll talk about this later. But we've been doing themed concert, which means learning a lot of other people's songs, covering a lot of other people's songs. And I must have added at least 50 songs to my repertoire in the last couple of years, because every concert is a different set of songs. Yeah.
I think that's one of the bright things that's come out of the pandemic, and especially from Daily Antidote. I know that all the song leaders that have been on and all the participants that come have talked about, being turned on to new songwriters, new performers, and also that singers who perform or play out have added music from all the different people they've met on Daily Antidote. So I know that I've been teaching in my singing classes. I've been teaching a lot of songs that I learned here on the Daily Antidote. So it's just one of the most wonderful ways that we've been connecting musicians to musicians and singers and everything like that. So
I get emails all the time from other performers who say, "Oh, it's so great to be out on the road again and to be singing for live audiences." And I'm thinking, like, I don't know, I kind of like this. I'm about 10 minutes away from lunch right now. When I do the concert on Sunday night, I get to sleep in my own bed. I don't have to drive 4 hours to the next gig or anything like that. And I find this, I don't know, is this too self-revelatory? I find this to be a very intimate medium. I spend time in very close contact, one-to-one with lots of people on Zoom, and it really works for me. I like the performing, and I like the connecting, and I like the working with other performers. And I couldn't perform with you because you're in Atlanta, but now I can.
and it's really, yeah, it's an interesting kind of paradox, isn't it? Speaking of which, let's sing the song again. Let's step into the holy circle. So beautiful.
Well, people seem to be getting it, so I won't even bother lining it out. We'll just all sing it together. There's about 1 billion little critters in a teacup. It's about 1 million light years to the wall. It's got me wondering what kind of heavenly mainframe gonna keep track of every sparrow that falls. Gonna get to know me enough to love me. I was lost in such inscrutable thought. Come step into the holy circle. That's the simple little answer I got. And I step into the holy circle. I find friends waiting for me. I step into the holy circle. I get wise, I get free. All my life I was meant to be there. All my life I turned away. I step into the holy circle. Goodbye, lonely yesterday. I'm gonna get it right this time. Would you really like to drive yourself crazy? Here's a very easy way to do it, my friend. Find the one thing you're bound to fail at, and you do it over and over again. There is help, but you got to reach for it. How come I could never figure that out? I step into the holy circle. That's the ticket they were talking about. I step into the holy circle. I find friends waiting for me. I step into the holy circle. I get wise and I get free. All my life I was meant to be there. All my life I had turned away. I stepped into the holy circle. Goodbye, lonely yesterday. Rolling right back to the first stargazer, stretching all around the skin of the world. You're gonna be amazed where you find your neighbor. Every boy, yes, and every girl. Everybody looking for the genuine item. Everybody searching for the safest way home. Everybody trying to fill the hunger inside them. We were never meant to make it alone. I step into the holy circle. I find friends waiting for me. I step into the holy circle. I get wise and I get free. All my life I was meant to be there. All my life I had turned away. I step into the holy circle. Goodbye, lonely yesterday. I step into the holy circle. Goodbye, lonely yesterday.
Oh, so beautiful. I'm so sorry I had my mute off. I don't know if y'all were hearing me like a behind. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I muted myself when I heard you, and you carried it.
Oh my gosh, Charlie. Thank you so much. I think we are all stepping into that circle today, and we that circle is a permanent thing, you know. It's not like you step in and then step out, right? Thank you so much for that beautiful inspiration. I know yes, we fall out sometimes, but
And we do, don't we?
yes, we do. All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us today. Let's wave goodbye and thanks to Facebook Live. Thank you all so much for joining us on Facebook Live. And before I say farewell to everyone, I want to say congratulations to Carpe Diem Arts for the Daily Antidote of Song now being a finalist for the Whammy Awards, which we think means Washington Area Music. We don't know what the IES stands for, but we think it's Washington Area Music Awards. So, anyway, congratulations to the Daily Antidote of Song, so well deserved. And now it's time to say bye to the holy circle of the Daily Antidote. Thank you, Charlie, for so inspiring us. Thank you for Katie for keeping us on track. Thank you, Kevin, for playing your beautiful flute. And Bob for singing along. That goes for Becky and Pauline and your dad in England, Carolyn in Boise and Laris in England as well. Thank you, Bonnie in Boise. Thank you, Pamela and Michelle in Silver Spring. Thank you, Sheila in North Florida and Arlene in Berkeley. Susan G. Thank you, Susan in Seattle. Luda in Victoria. Kathleen in Albuquerque. Thank you to the Curly Tops in Vermont. I hope it's not too cold up there. Thank you, Ruth in Birmingham. That's UK, not Alabama. Thank you, Karen in Oregon. I don't know if you're going skiing on that mountain. Thank you, Kathy and Ann in Silver Spring, and Kate in Charlottesville, Penny and Ralph, and Leah in Illinois. Let me see, where am I? Thank you, Deborah, dancing in Kentucky, Fred in Silver Spring, Annette in California, and Julie and Bob and a bear in Massachusetts. Mabel might be listening in later, we hope. Thank you, Jacqueline in Baltimore. So good to have you with us today. Thank you, Dory and Ollie. Ollie joined us earlier and I'm sure is off screen. There's Mabel with a bear. We have two cameras today. Thank you, Anne in Nashville. So good to see you. Hello, Kathy and Chico. Hello and farewell to Anne in Sandy Spring. That's Maryland, not Georgia. Hello, Don, another curly top in Vermont. Your top isn't quite as curly as the rest of them, but we love you. Thank you, Linda on Orcas Island, rocking to the rhythm of Charlie's beautiful song. Thank you, Karen C. in Iowa, and Juana La Tejana in Tejas. Thank you, Storm. Thank you, Kat in Vermont, and Jamie in Victoria. Joe, thank you so much for bringing us all together. Thank you, Trish and Victoria. Cricket. Oh, glad you made it. Thank you, Nancy, and your beautiful Irish cow and Delhi and CY and Aloysius and LMG. Thank you for joining us, Carolyn, Connecticut, Amos, Hoda in British Columbia, and Marcia, and Margaret. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in this holy circle that is the Daily Antidote of Song. Thanks, everyone. I look forward to seeing you again Thursday. I am not the host, I am the musical guest. So I have a surprise
Whoa.
in store for you. See you soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye. Have a